Okay, so he's a young Labrador. He's come in for some training and some work. And actually, what I've really noticed is why he's come in. Yeah, there you go. Now, I just quickly got him out of the vehicle. I slipped him, not because I like a slip, because I actually think there's a safety element to using a slip. And I think he was going. And I think you've got to be really careful on that. So I personally, I don't like a slip. I don't train in a slip. I don't use a slip. But for me, there's a slip element for safety if I think I might lose him. Now, his first session with us is actually going to be to teach head collar. Why? Because I can't even hold him. And if I can't hold him, then his 60-plus-year-old owner is definitely not going to be able to hold him. So for me, if I can't hold him and I'm a fit, healthy, sort of go to the gym and do my best to eat less ice cream type, she's also fit, healthy, does her best to eat less ice cream type, but also sort of 20 plus years older than me. And she's not going to be able to hold him either. And there's a lot of dog behind this lead. So there is a lot of dog. Yeah, and it's a lot. I can't hold him. And yeah, it came in flip-flops, but I still can't hold him in whatever footwear I'm in. And so for me, a couple of things that we're going to do today. We're going to work with him on teaching a head collar. So we're going to work on teaching head collar. We're going to be working on teaching boundaries. He's going to go onto a double lead with his head collar. And like, he just goes. He's gone. Like, we are going. And for me, that's just not how walks go. And they're not fun. Like, it's not fun. The other thing is, he is a danger to not only himself, but also whoever's at the other end of his lead. He's a danger to those as well. And also to the person that he meets on that walk. So we're going to be teaching head collar, we're going to be teaching boundaries, we're going to be teaching a level of learn to earn. He's going to be going through everything we do in Games Club. And most of all, what we want to do really is start to teach him that we matter in his world. And it's just not him and his world. Actually, we're part of that relationship. And really, we're going to let him go to those things if it's appropriate, but we're not going to let him drag us where he fancies. Just not how it goes. Now, so many people have that struggle. Let me know if you've ever struggled with anything like this. And let me know if you need help. If you need help, tell us, because we are here to help. You've had the opportunity to see Buddy. Buddy has been working with us for just a very, very short time. There's a lot of dog on this lead. Let me know if you own a lot of dog. Now, Amber's fit, she's strong. She's a rugby lass, so she plays rugby. And she's fit and she's strong. And she's working really hard around scenarios here, car parks, people. And this dog is a lot of dog on the other end of a lead. And he's young, so he's 11 months old. He's in lots of ways hard to handle, and also without a head collar, I'd almost say impossible to hold in the space that I'm in. I don't know if we've got the next video, Kev, that we could show. Well done, here it goes, just like we asked. This is him towards the end of the session, been working out in the fields. He is in his head collar here. He's not perfect. There's still a lot to learn. But I want to know if you're struggling like this dog's owner is really, really struggling. And she's in a space where she's looking after an elderly mother. She's looking after grandkids. And this dog simply is a poor, poor fit for those scenarios as he was when he arrived with us. He is a lot, and you'll see moments like this where he just stops. Let me know if you've struggled with this, where your dog just stops and says, no, actually, I'm not walking. And what I've said to Sarah is, you don't need to like change or yank or pull. I would just keep walking. So I just keep walking. I don't want you to yank him or pull him or hurt him in any way, but you do need to keep walking, because at the same time with a dog like him, he is going to take you in other directions if you don't take him. So if you don't take him, and she changes her pace and she goes a little bit fast, and you see she does it with a smile on her face. Like, she does this whole thing with a smile on her face. So let me know who you are. I'm Lauren. I'm behind the camera today, but I am absolutely here. And this is Sarah, and this is Buddy. And you can see him trying to take the head collar off. You can see him trying to remove things. Our dogs do naughty things like your dogs. And today you're going to see some trained dogs, and you're going to see some dogs who are not yet trained. What I'd love to know is what stage your dog's at. So what stage is your dog at when that is in this scenario? What stage is your dog at? Because this is Buddy. He's at the early stages of the walking training. Michelle, myself, Amber, lots of the trainers here have had a chance to work with him. He is a lot of dog, and I want to know if you own a lot of dog. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Skittle. Skittle was really hard work. She forged ahead. She literally wanted to investigate everything, and I genuinely did not enjoy walking her for a while. And the most important thing is that I really do now. So I really enjoy walking her now. And I want you to know that this is all really, really possible. Now, in a second, what you're going to see is you're going to see Jamie. She's one of our trainers. She works alongside me, and she really helped me in solving the puzzle that is Skittle. I would say this dog here, Buddy, he's still a bit of a puzzle. Yeah, he's still a bit of a struggle. He definitely has moments of, I'm not going in my head collar. I'm not walking in this direction. He doesn't want to take food. He doesn't want to take toys. He actually just wants to go in the direction he wants to go in. And so there is a level of lead pressure and pressure off at times with him. And I think it's really important we notice this. So, guys, we're going to come to Jamie and we're going to come to Michelle with Lego. Guys, are you ready? Kev, you're going to, at some point, cut that video and we're going to come into the studio. And we're going to get to see some of these games from day one. So, Michelle, Jamie, what's the first exercise we're going to teach little Lego here? Because you guys are seeing Lego, not Buddy, simply because of the fact that we're in a small arena, small space upstairs. You can see the problems with Buddy. The same concept is going to be trained here with Lego. What are we going to start with? Dog who really knows very little about loose lead walking.
Yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is put value in our side areas on both sides. And we can play a couple of games just to help him with that. Michelle said, like, normally when he's walking on the lead, he's maybe out in front and just tootling along, and he's quite happy doing that. But we'd like to kind of put some more value in side position, isn't it? So we can have that loose lead walking. So we might start off with a little bit of orientation game and then go into just, we've got other exercises that I want to kind of do, but I want to see what he's like with you just luring him into your side position. So with this now, we're thinking, both of our training pouches are behind us because reward placement is important with this. So if our training pouches are in front and we're going into the front of our pouch to deliver the food for our dog, then the dog is going to get used to the food coming from front. If we've got it behind us, then the reward placement and the value of the reward is directly behind us. So that can be one step that you can all take that will make a hell of a difference.
Jamie, I think just really quick question that I think is really valid. You work with Skittle and I a lot. So we've all worked together a lot with Skittle. She was a lot of dog. We've run training centres and this centre for like 15 years, and Skittle was still a lot. How much of her food on a daily basis did we use for walking when we were really trying to crack it?
It was the majority, even though that she had other skills to build. That was the majority of the food.
So we put all of her value for walking, because walking's really important.
Really
and how strong was she? As pushy as that Labrador?
Yeah. I mean, she would just stick her head in bushes. She wasn't as big and powerful, but she was just pushy, and I suppose was as powerful.
She was powerful though for a little dog. She was powerful.
It's little and
she's pushy. And how much fun was it walking a Skittle?
It was not fun.
Absolutely
it was
not fun.
Not fun.
And was it something that would be good for somebody who's got shoulder pain?
No.
And would it be good for someone who's maybe elderly?
No.
And would it be good for maybe a child to enjoy? No. Would you have given her to Chloe to walk?
No.
And yet today, if you gave her either with a head collar or either with you working with her and supervising and helping, could Chloe walk her?
Yes.
And Chloe is how old?
6.
So Jamie's 6-year-old daughter, she could give her to her to walk. Yeah. And I think this is what's really important. Is she a different dog today than she was a year ago?
Massively.
And is it really achievable for the average owner when they're playing games like this?
Yes. Yeah, and you can just put these games into your daily routine, and if you stick it onto habits that you've already got, it just makes it easier. Make sure that you're remembering to play these little games. So yeah, it would build up over time and be.
So I love that I can see Melanie doing her dishes. Hello, Melanie. I love Melanie. She's one of my favourites. So guys in the room here, let me know if you're game on to learn some of these games, because so many people think that you need to be like yanking or pulling or using some aversive or or choke collar or prong collar or some sort of collar. Let me know in the comments if you are game on. So game on if you're game on. Let me know in the comments if you're game on, because we're going to be playing some games, but we need to know that you are game on first. So I need to know you're game on first. I love that Nicola's here. Nice to see you, Nicola. Good to see you, Sophie. It's like seeing a group of friends. Hey, Jenny. So lovely to see Amanda. I love that we've got America, we've got US students all over here that I can see. We've got some Australia, we've got some New Zealand in the house, we've got Belgium in the house, we've got Yorkshire in the house. Yes, Sophie, we have Yorkshire. You can smile. She's on it. Okay. Love her. Absolutely love her. So, guys, game on. They're ready. They're game on. Which game are we playing first,
We're going to
Jamie?
do a little bit of orientation game, and then you're going to just lure him into your side positions then.
And for those people that think, hang on a second, you're just playing a game, how's this going to work? I promise you, trust the process, it works. I promise you. Skittle was an absolute word I need to think about. Naughty little dog. She was an absolute naughty little dog. I have replaced what she actually was. She's a very, very pushy little dog. So I promise you it works. I love it. Sandy says, yes, it works. And how does this change the picture for a dog, Jamie? Because this really does change the picture.
So what I want Michelle to do is feed in that hand more. That's it. Cool. And I want you to see if you can throw him out again and then pop him into your side. That's it. Well done. Really good. 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 And then we'll pick him up in a minute because I just want to alter something that you're doing. That's it. Cool. Okay. So he's come into this hand and he's just getting one piece of food. This hand is doing nothing. But what this hand could do is like super load this hand to be valuable, because I can see that the value's not so much in, he likes running to chase the food and then he wants to go off and chase the next bit of food. But the value isn't in this hand. Yes. We need, if we're going to lure him around, at the moment you're turning yourself into him, so making it easy for him, yes, which is fine because we're still putting value in the side. But what we want to progress to is, if we're going that way, then can we get him on and come back into your side without you moving? So, but we need value in this hand first. So we might need to load that hand. That's better. Good.
Now, with a dog like Buddy, Jamie, who's massive.
Yes.
So a dog like Buddy who's massive and difficult and pushy, how is this going to help him?
So these types of games will really help him put value in the side. I think from the footage, you could see that he didn't have any value in a side or potentially anywhere around you, I feel.
Nowhere.
I think the value was out there.
Let me know in the comments, guys, if you'd like to meet Buddy on your walk. So would you like to meet Buddy on your walk? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Would you like to meet Buddy on a walk? Good. So Jamie, how does this help Buddy, who has no interest in anybody, let alone who he wants to go visit on a walk, and he wants to get as far from the lead as he possibly can?
Yes. Yeah.
How is it going to help him?
So it's going to help him to be able to have value in proximity to us, to be able to keep a little bit of focus on us. But obviously all of these games are going to have to be played in a place where he feels safe, first of all. So you wouldn't be taking him out on an adventure, first of all, trying to play these games, because I think you said that he wasn't very food orientated or anything.
Not at all.
So we need to build up the value for food in nice, safe places, and maybe use something quite tasty that he wouldn't normally get, isn't it? And then build up these type of games first, and then progressively take them out to places where there's more distractions, and things like having him on tarmac rather than grass, depending on where his kind of drives are and stuff like that, and making it easier. So for him initially to build that up. If you've got other people in the house, you could have other people like moving around. I used my kids as a distraction quite a bit with my dog's training, and that's something that you can ask like your husband or someone just to walk past to go to the toilet or wherever, and just utilize whatever's going on in your environment first of all before taking them out into the big wide world, isn't it?
And for those people who are worried that they're giving them loads of treats, this is just their food. Yeah, right? They're going to get it anyway. This is just their food.
Yeah. And if we stick to it's just our food, we won't end up with a ballooned lab at the end of it, because they will normally quite like their food, and they're kind of prone to kind of being overweight and stuff like that. And we don't want to do that to our dogs either. So using our dog's daily food allowance is definitely a good thing to be doing.
So another one very quickly, it's not really just loose lead walking we're teaching, we're actually teaching relationship on top of it, right? Because when you drop Skittle's lead, and Skittle really was pain in the backside, like hard work to own, would consider like what the fun part for you was in it. Actually, when you drop her lead, where does she go?
She's just there.
and she doesn't go anywhere. She is yours now.
Yeah.
Whereas when you drop Buddy's lead, Michelle, go really close to Jamie because you're not mic'd. Where does Buddy go when you drop his lead?
Far away.
He's gone, isn't he? Who wants to meet Buddy on a walk? And if you own a Buddy, let us know in the comments. Basically, for me, Buddy can never safely go off lead until we've sorted this. He is not safe. He is a liability. Let me know if you own a liability. For me, this dog is a liability. For me, this dog is a dog who's going to get himself in trouble, whether he chases livestock, children, other dogs. I don't want to meet him. Jamie, if you met him, give me an example of one of your dogs that would really hate to meet Buddy.
Yeah, they would hate to meet Buddy. Stitch would hate to meet Buddy.
Big entire male,
No,
going to
thank
come
you.
in, hi, all over them, very fast landing, likely to slobber or hump. What are your dogs and your group of dogs thinking?
No, they're not going to be happy.
And yet, how does that then affect your day?
Oh, really, it really does put a downer on the day. So yeah, it's not the best thing to be happening.
Okay, so what game are we going to play next?
So we are going to have a little go at seeing whether we can lure him into side, but with just having, so like one thing that I do, if I've got a wall or if I've got like my van, I kind of use quite a lot, is just having like a wall or something as a partition for him to like make a channel so that they can come into side, and then we can feed, throw him out, and then bring him back into side, feed. Now you might have to set up a training loop with this. So you might, one thing we may be is that he might want to jump on this, and we need this because we do lots of like paws on stuff, and that we need to make sure that the value's here rather than there. So we might have to start off with distance first, potentially. We'll see how he goes. But the training loop I would have in my head would be food out there, food to there, feed. Food out there, food to there, feed. Okay. Yeah? And we're really building this part. And if you start thinking that food, you're going to have a lot of food in your hand to begin with, because I think that would be appropriate to be able to have this nice and flowy, if we can flow. And which side is your favourite side to do this? On the right? Should we start off on that side? Right. This is good. So it's all set up on the right side. Right. I was doing my left and right then. So we'll set up doing this this way. What was I going to say? So when we're if we're refilling from the pouch, try and throw them out that way so your hand goes into your pouch so you can reload that way. But if you find yourself reloading and the dog's kind of there, just make sure that we pop the food down the seam of our leg, so then it puts the value back here. Try not to go where your dog is. To feed them, because then the value becomes out there. We want the value to be here by our side, so on both sides. But we'll start off on the right and we'll have a little go on the left then. So you can see there's a bit of pressure with the channel, so give him a bit more room. So he kind of just went, oh, no, it's a bit close. Good, yeah, and just load, yeah, there we go, cool. And then back that way, good. Drop it on the floor when he gets there, because that was quite nice when you dropped it on the floor, because there's a little bit of pressure from your hand there. That's it. So feed it again. There you go. There we go. Really, really nice. And it was really nice, the thing that Michelle did when he kind of didn't want to come back in, or when he turned himself around actually to face the other way. I liked you throwing him back. So then he came back in the right direction and then release him forward. So play around with that because that was really, really nice. Just drop a bit sooner, yeah, because he's coming in quite fast and he's just like, good boy. And drop a couple of bits maybe next time. So we're going to do 1, 2, that's it. Good. So then we're building up that duration of him being by the side. And then I would play around with maybe dropping one, feeding one from hand, dropping another one, feeding one from hand, dropping, and be a bit random with it so he doesn't kind of know where it's coming from. There we go. And then feed a few from hand. Brilliant, good. And the aim being our hand getting a little bit closer to our leg if we can. Now, we don't kind of lump all of this together, and some dogs need it broken down more than others. He's breaking it down quite nicely for us, I think. So it gives you kind of a lot more ideas and steps for you to use. But like with some dogs, they might just have value for side. I think a lot of our dogs have value for being at 12 o'clock because if we go and give them a sweet treat or something, we tend to have them in the 12 o'clock position. But some dogs do naturally like being by our side, so it does depend. I think he's more of an in front 12 o'clock guy. What do you reckon? Yes. Yeah. So he's got the value for that 12 o'clock. So we know that he can have value for a 12 o'clock position. We just need to now pop it. That was really nice. End it on that one because that one was really nice. And then we'll have a little go on the other side. Because sometimes when we go to the other side, Michelle said her side, her favorite side was the other side. Haha. So this side. So this side now being not Michelle's favorite might show a little bit of maybe our mechanics, but maybe him not being on that side so often. So making sure you do this on both sides, even if it's really good to have a flexible dog. I think even if I know there's a lot of people out there that have their dogs on one side only, I think it's really important to make sure you're building up all of these skills on both sides. One for a physical reason as much as a mental reason. But if you've always got that dog on one side, your dog might be curving and building up muscles, depending on how much walking you do with your dog on lead on one side, building up the muscles, building up their neck muscles, all unevenly, and that will obviously then affect them when they're older. I often see a dog walking through town and that dog is definitely only on one side and is curved round to the person. And you can see actually the definition in the dog's back legs that one muscle is a lot bigger than the other. So making sure that you're doing this. It's good for our mental health also to be able to do things with both hands and be able to because I know handlers will find it really, really difficult sometimes to be able to do things on both sides. So it's a good exercise for us as well.
Very quickly, Jamie, Shauna and some of the other comments, I love this. And guys, I really want Alison and Karen and Kev and all of the team to notice these guys in the house. Shauna says, mine is the same. It's embarrassing. They understand dogs like Buddy because it is hard when you've got a dog like that. We're showing you with Lego because he makes it very, very easy for us to demo in an environment like this and talk over him and work. Whereas you can't do, when you're working with a dog like Buddy, Michelle, how much attention, like you said, Jamie, you're like this. That is all you can do because he's going to tow you over. Sarah might be in the room. Sarah was towed over by him. Michelle's been pulled over by him, flat on her face. It's horrible. It's uncomfortable. And Shauna says, mine is the same. It's embarrassing. Mel says, I can relate. I own a version of Buddy. Let me know if you own a Buddy, guys. Rach says, yeah, I own one. Her name is Karma. And Carla says, I have a very aware dog of everything. Walks are really stressful. Jamie, do you handle anyone who is very aware of everything in the centre? And will they be able to come up and show us some games in a minute or at some point today? Who do you handle here who's very aware of everything?
Everything. Katie's very aware of everything. Very aware of everything.
And what's she likely to do if she notices something and she's scared of it?
If she notices something and it's a bit different, then there's potential to bark and want to kind of investigate it and go forward.
And is that dog likely to get in trouble out on a walk?
She would get in trouble.
And is she a bad dog?
No, she's a gorgeous.
And actually, has she got a nice nature?
Yes, she's amazing.
And she's a really sweet dog, but without games, I think we'd be in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, without games, I think she would have got herself into a lot of trouble.
Yeah. So next game, let's play another game with him. You guys are prepping. I'm just going to read one more comment. Mel says it's very embarrassing. I only take him out in the evening, early in the morning, but amazing at playing now games and learning games. Fiona says my dog pulls towards sniffs. Kelly says my dogs are all fed. So actually, we all of my dogs are raw fed. And Jamie, you work with them. Michelle, you're working with Pate. Jamie, what do we use when we raw feed? Like what sort of things? Give options.
We've got the nicer options are the chicken necks. The horrible options are fish.
Fish. Jamie does not. Sometimes I'm like, Jamie, you stink like a fish.
No, I really do.
And you also love Michelle's treats, don't you? And
Michelle's treats are amazing.
You love them. Basically, Jamie regularly puts in.
Nicest.
She puts like a beg in, please, more Michelle treats.
More Michelle treats.
What do you like about using those?
Oh, they're just easy. They're a nice size. You make them different sizes, but the ones that I like are the really small size because then I got more bang for my buck, and then I can use those. And I know that there's goodness going into all of the dogs. I don't know how you do it so well.
They're amazing, aren't they? They are amazing. They are amazing. Michelle's treats are amazing. So there's a resource there. It's free. You guys can make the treats. You can come along to a bake-off with Michelle. You can catch up on the AO Canine Lives. Michelle shows it there as well. So there's loads loads on that, and there's loads on feeding, and there's loads on feeding in Games Club as well. So whilst we haven't got time to get into everything, there are loads of options for raw feeders. So loads of options for the raw feeders. What Helen says is country lane walking, you sometimes find the need for the other side for dog safety. So actually I need to practice it for that as well, because we use it for the centre. We're walking past a dog that doesn't like us. You need it for dog safety, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, so practicing having value on both sides is really important for safety, passing someone, taking the pressure off somebody else. If your dog's not pressurized by the situation, but you see that another dog's pressurized by the situation, then you can actually move your nice safe dog to the side to help actually somebody else out in the environment if you become aware of these things, because sometimes we're only aware of what our dogs are doing, but yeah, just to help another dog out is great. Traffic. Just passing things, anything, even if the lamppost is coming up and you know that they're going to haul you to a lamppost or whatever.
Yeah, when you say haul you to a lamppost, that's exactly what I imagine Buddy doing. He would like haul you to it. Very quickly, Sarah Williams and Abby Williams are in the room. Sarah and Abby, when Michelle and when Jamie pop to switch dogs at some point, not yet, but when they pop to switch dogs, I'd love to bring you on live, so be ready for me, Karen, Kev, Abby, Sarah, because Sarah's handled Buddy and Abby owns a dog who's very similar to Buddy with reactivity. And I'll also explain how reactivity, I think Buddy will be reactive by, say, 16, 18 months if a lot's not done to change his lifestyle. I think he will be a reactive dog. He's not at the moment, but he has growled and snapped at, sort of towards us. And I've also seen behaviours that make me think that dog will become reactive because of the way he lands on other dogs. So we'll talk about that. But anyway, we've got more games. Jamie, how did the last game sort of connect for a dog like him?
It's amazing then, because she was really close. You had a nice snug channel. And if your dog is sensitive to the channel, you can play just orientation game through the channel and build that up gradually and don't ask for too much. But on that side, he looked really, really cool. And he built that up really nicely. So we were playing a little bit of value in the side. And as I said, like use stuff you've got out in the world, like your walls, and you've got your car. If you get out of the car, do some of that before you go anywhere. These are the things that you can kind of start adding into your already kind of doing things habits that we've got. Another thing that we can do, so the next little one we were going to play around with is pivoting. He hasn't done much pivoting. So what we're going to do is we're going to see, I don't know whether to use a smaller platform. We might use a smaller platform. We'll see what he's like. But pivoting can help with building value at our sides eventually. But we'll just start off with the beginning parts of pivoting. So what we're going to do is we'll play it this little way. So we're going to set up another training loop. So we're going to chuck him out there. Not chuck him, chuck the food out there. And then we're going to bring him in and we're going to feed him. And then what we're going to do is set up this little loop. So we're going to throw him. So as he comes in, we're going to give him a piece of food for putting his feet on. And then we're going to throw him out that way. So when we throw him out that way, what his little booty does is goes that way a little bit. So he's automatically starting to pivot. So we just want to set up that training loop. We don't have to throw him far. So he's going to start off out here, and then that way, here, and then that way, here. And when he's coming back into you, you want him to come in at 12 o'clock. So you might have to, some dogs, you might have to meet them a little bit before. Sometimes people stand there waiting for the dog and they come in all higgledy-piggledy. So we're going to come and meet him, bring him into 12 o'clock, feed him, and throw him out. So then if we get him, we're going to stick to one side. And if he's coming in this way, his bum's going to move that way. Yeah. So when we think it's appropriate, we could feed, throw out. And when he comes in on the next, just as he's about to put his feet on, you're going to step that way. Okay. And if his bum moves, yeah, you either feed there or you throw him, just depending on what he finds rewarding, throw him away and tell him he's good for doing that movement. You're going to mark that movement if we can. Good. Good boy. Nice. Nice. Good boy. Get it, get it. Uh-oh. Because that was too far. Can't find it now. Good. Good boy. Nice. Good boy. Good lad. Good boy. Good boy. So you can see he's kind of starting to go that way a little bit. So see if you can do it like that and see if you can move slightly. Yeah, good boy. Very good. Good boy. Good boy. So you can see he's starting. Just try and mark that when he moves that back end. Yep. Good. Very good. So mark that back end moving. Good. Yes, good lad. Very good. Really nice. One more. I love the enthusiasm coming back. Yes. Good.
Now, looking at that, Jamie, if you pick him up for a second, Michelle, why is this useful? Why is this an important game?
This is going to be really useful. One, it's like awareness, your dog having rear end awareness, which is going to be valuable anyway, because sometimes some dogs just walk around and they think they've got a front end and the back end's just in tow. And it will, like, as they age and everything, it gives them proprioception, it gives them just so much more awareness of their actual body. But for actual loose lead walking, sometimes we need our dog to come into side, and the action that they need is to pivot their back end into a side position, is what they need to be able to do. Now, if your dog's finding that difficult, then practicing some of these kind of exercises would be amazing. But you are actually doing a fitness exercise with this, which is really, really cool for your dogs to be able to be doing this.
So fitness and the ability to actually know what is right.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes they don't even know what is right.
No.
And they actually don't even have the skill. And it was interesting. I was walking one of mine earlier and I was walking a friend's dog with them and their lead got caught under the legs. My dogs, when the lead gets caught under the legs, they know how to lift the leg and move. This dog literally got completely tangled and made a real mess of it.
Yep.
And that I think is just like, there's no emotional intelligence in some dogs that I think that needs coaching. And then there's also no physical ability to know where the legs are. Another situation, and talking about the emotional intelligence, one of Badger yesterday towed off with my little nephew around her waist. And she just had no idea that she had no connection of the, like, you know, when an animal looks after something or not. I think some animals look after things and others was just a bad decision. So it was a bad decision to think about letting her go waist leading. So I think it's just knowing those moments. Some dogs, and I think emotional intelligence actually can be improved in dogs and relationships. And I also think the ability to lift a leg and move a leg when a lead's trapped under it.
Yeah.
Before you guys go to your next game, we've got Marie Tracy who just says, my dog just pulls everywhere. Don't worry, Marie, that's exactly what we are working with. The people who are asking about raw food, there's a link to some of the resources in raw food, and there's loads in the Games Club and Bake Off and places like that. So I know that Alison's putting loads of links in and helping. And Kim says, I walk my German Shepherd one side on one and one side on the other, just so I can get them out together. Jamie, does it work for multi-dogs, what we teach?
Yeah, I would definitely change them over. It's good for their, as I said, it's good for their kind of mental health and physical health, and it's good for yours. I do see how it makes... it can make, if you start doing other exercises throughout the badge, you can get yourself into difficulty then, because that dog just wants to be on that side and that dog just wants to be. I would, keep it flexibility is the best.
Diane says, what's the goal of this game here?
This game would be for the dog to be pivoting into your side, and then you be able to have that value in your side position. So basically you'd have your dog, and I can demo this with a dog that I'm going to bring up, and you'd ask them just to come into side position on the pivot, and having an anchor just helps you out. It helps the owner out, and it helps the dog out to actually know where the dog's meant to be.
Sarah says, one thing I really felt helped when I was walking Buddy was how I held onto the lead with my thumbs in the right place. Sounds really simple, but made a difference. Does lead pressure make a difference, Jamie, and how you hold a lead?
Yeah, how you're holding the lead and lead pressure definitely makes a difference. Having a double clip lead, eventually having him potentially on a harness and a halter could help as well, a head collar. So yeah, having that will really, really help the situation. I mean, lead pressure is something that you can add into your training straight away, and it's literally just squeezing the lead and feeding the dog for awareness of you squeezing the lead. Some dogs need it, you might have to tap it or potentially just give it a little wiggle first of all to get their attention, but then eventually you should be able to kind of whittle it down bit by bit.
I know this sounds really silly, but you can get to the point your dog really reads everything through a lead.
Yeah.
To the point I was in a grumpy mood this morning and Skittle just knew it through the lead,
Yeah.
I think. I think she just knew it. She was just like, what on earth is she grumping about? And I was just grumpy. Well, I'm going to blame Matt. It was all Matt's fault. But there we go. And what I'm saying, I suppose, is your dog can even read like emotional energy through a lead.
Yeah.
Like, I think, I really believe if you train them, they'll actually, you can see a whole new level. Diane says, my mixed breed dogs eat absolutely everything they can find. One's actually partial to manure. The environment keeps winning every time. Does this like learning help with that, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, like one of mine used to be very much like that, especially on the moors. I can remember doing, because I moved down here 5 years ago, I can remember doing loads and loads of training, and then I went up on the moors and I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to start again because the environment absolutely won. And it was just bit by bit actually knowing how to break down some of these exercises. So like someone said, how is this exercise going to help out there? Having your platform and having the picture of a pivot action and come into side, okay, it might be that I might do it on the tarmac path to begin with and I'm next to the sheep poo, but then eventually my platform is going to go onto the sheep poo. If you can find a place where there's none, then that's great, but then I am now going to compete with the sheep poo and all of the other delightful things on the floor, because they understand that exercise is rewarding and powerful, and they've done it in lots of different places and they know what to do. But if we just kind of just go out there and want to just do it with no kind of visual things for our dog to be able to do the exercise, then it's hard work on us and hard work on the dogs. Your mechanics have to be brilliant, and so the dog's skill has to be brilliant. So that's why like having these little games helps.
Jan says, I don't like head collars. Are they really necessary? And I would say, Michelle, and Michelle isn't talking, she's going to have to get close to Jamie. How much did you need? And Sarah, we're going to come to you. With Buddy, how do you fancy walking him?
I would not walk him without a head collar. He's a liability.
And we're not saying you have to use them. Like with Katie, Jamie, have you ever needed a head collar? Ever?
Well, only through muzzle training, but that was just for fun. So no.
We've only ever needed to train it for fun.
It was just for fun.
Lego, is he ever going to need a head collar? But you know what, for fun, we could train it.
Yeah.
He's never going to need it. It's never going to be part of his picture. Buddy, can he pull you flat on your face?
Very easily.
Is his owner in his 60s?
Yeah.
Is that not the ideal fit in lots of ways, that dog and that owner?
Ideal.
It's not ideal. But yet this is her dog. So we've got three options. One, the dog gets rehomed. Two, the dog stays with her. Three, the dog's put to sleep. Like those are your kind of, as I see them, realistically your options. I don't see many more options. It's a rehome, it's her dog, or he's not safe in the space that we're in. Because some people don't want to take a dog on like that. Yep. They don't want to take that dog on. It's potential aggression case. It's a potential, like it's got lots of problems potentially brewing. They're not there yet, but they're coming. And so for me, why does the head collar help? And guys, can you let me know in the comments if you can hear Michelle? Yes or no, or thumbs up for me. Michelle, why does the head collar help this dog?
It stops rehearsal of him dragging you everywhere, and it needs to be used appropriately as well.
And is it possible for you to walk him on a head collar?
Absolutely.
And is it possible for you to walk him without a head collar?
No.
Because?
Honestly, he just would toe me everywhere, and
it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. I'm used to riding horses. I've ridden horses since I was 6, and with just on a flat collar, he's going to take me wherever he wants to go, wee on every tree.
He scratched me right down my back and my arm. I mean, Kev, I don't know if you want to overlay quickly with some of his pulling at the beginning again, what we showed, but that dog honestly had me on the floor pretty much. And this dog is strong. So what I suppose I'm saying to all of you guys is, Jan, I get you don't like head collars, you never have to use one. But with a dog like him, with a dog like him, this is only him just arriving. Like he's just arrived. He's got out of a vehicle and he's just arrived. And he's got more confident and stronger since then. Yeah, so he is stronger. So for me, the head collar's allowed us to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've actually got a conversation open. And did you use a head collar, Jamie, with Skittle, and why?
Yeah, and similar reasons. So it was just to be able to have that ability to have some kind of form of control of her head, so she's not diving into a bush and she's not picking up something that she shouldn't be picking up. And I think it's nice, like if you have got a head collar and you don't want to particularly be using the head collar, then it's good to have that progression down to, okay, so I want to aim to have a harness and a double clip lead on my dog. So then what happens is then you can start playing those exercises that your dog is now finding really easy with a head collar on in a double clip harness. So you've got like a progression to go to, and then you might only use your head collar when you're on the moors with the sheep poo. You know, you then start, if you use that really sensibly, you're starting to use that head collar, you know, in environments that may be slightly more difficult then for the dog, and eventually then that's the progression. And always keeping, you know, making sure that we're training those things for, that we're keeping the lead light and loose, and eventually getting to, we're not just shoving what I'm trying to say is you're not just shoving a head collar on and then that's it, that's fixed. You're doing training as well as putting a head collar on. You're not just shoving that head collar on and then you've got, because some dogs can get quite shut down with head collars. So some people think that when they put the head collar on, oh my gosh, my dog's behaving really nicely. Sometimes they're shut down in those situations, and then we need to be able to kind of read that dog and read that situation, and be able to play games so that they are quite confident and comfortable with the head collar on, and then work with the pressure.
And it's games alongside the tools. So we're not saying use the head collar and solve
as just a fix.
We're saying play the games.
What happens sometimes.
Skittle can walk very nicely without a head collar now.
Yeah.
However, we use the head collar in between. And I'll give you some more tips in a minute on head collar. Now, if Lego has one last game before we switch dogs, what would be his last game, Jamie?
So our last game, obviously do that on the other side of you, because then you've got
keep him balanced.
You've got it balanced, then you've got your dog balanced. What we're going to do is I call this click at cone, but if he hasn't got a kind of like knowledge of the clicker or whatever, we're just gonna use your yes. Yeah. So I should put them closer together because it's like one of his steps, isn't it? I was going to do in and out, but we'll do the click at cone. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed him in a side position. So again, we're going to bring him into that side. We're going to take a step forward, yep, and then we're going to feed. Take a step forward, yep, and feed. Take a step forward, yep, and feed. So basically, these cones would be your lampposts on your walk. They would be the crack in the pavement. They would be the driveways. They would be something out on your walk. So then you can then build that distance up to 2 cones. So he's right in by the side. Again, you might need to make the channel a little bit wider. So you step to the side, to your left a little bit. Good. Good boy. Because I thought we were going fast then. Good. Yep. Yes. Good. Yep. So I would just mark him just a little bit sooner and don't ask for too much from him. So when you're there, when you take that step, so then it would, because I'm going to do in and out the cones. Good boy. He goes, oof, hard work. Yep. Good. Yes. Good. And then bit by bit, what Michelle can do is, at the moment, her hand is there in front of his nose. Then we want to kind of fake. We want to get to the point that we can walk a step forward, then put our hand in we'll say our yes, then put our hand in our pouch and then deliver the food. So what Michelle can do bit by bit is maybe bring that hand up her trouser leg a little bit before she rewards him. So it comes up a little bit higher. So bit by bit, she starts. With a big dog, this isn't so essential because you're more upright. But with a little dog, then, and just be careful with your hand. Your hand wants to come back to your leg as if it was going up for your pouch, not forward. Yeah. So yeah, so your hand started creeping. Although you want him to come forward, try and keep your hand with your leg so your hand doesn't creep forward. And then you're aiming for your hand coming up to your pouch almost, and then coming.
Helen has sympathy for you, Michelle. She said it really hurts your back training small dogs. I have a Papillon as well. I know, and it's so funny. I was training yesterday, and I was talking to our little cousins, well, my niece and nephew, and they said Papillon sounds very French. So I thought it was really cute when they said that. Super cute. Okay, so Jamie, what are we doing here? Why does it count? Why is it important?
So this can be taken out and about with you to, like I said, you can use your driveways, your lampposts or anything like that as your cones basically. But practicing this with your cones or with some objects that you can, it just makes you reinforce them as much as they need it. If you're starting this out with a puppy, this is great because they get it really, really quickly and they understand that that they're going to get rewarded loads for being by your side. Doing this on both sides, I think we've swapped sides now, so that's quite cool. And then it's just, it gives you an idea, doesn't it? It gives you that kind of goal to go, oh, maybe I go to 2 cones. But once you're at 2 cones, maybe you go to halfway between the cone and the next time. You don't go to a full cone. Do you know what I mean? Like you really kind of go back and forth, so you're not trying to make the distance too big to begin with. I mean, some dogs need quite a lot of this to actually understand that we want them by our sides. And then other dogs need less of this. But it's a nice little exercise, and it's an exercise that, you know, you could take this, you could take this onto the where the manure was, or whoever's dog was like trying to get to the manure, and have your cones out, and then the value is their head's not going down there. The value is by your side, and the cones kind of just signal the game if we've reinforced it enough, and if we've put value in it in a safe environment, basically. So yes.
So, Jamie, before we switch dogs, and I'm going to have a quick chat to Abby and to Sarah. Before we switch dogs, the people that are here going, how the hell is this going to help my walking? How does it actually help? Michelle, you go get him settled, because I'm going to get you right back up here. Jamie, how is this actually going to help? Because the people, sorry, I just knocked the camera as you waved. Don't know what I was up to. Literally made you guys get a bit dizzy. How is it actually going to help?
So it's just going to help with proximity, taking food off you, and having value for being around in different positions, rather than at the moment, currently, if you are having struggles, your dog's value is out there. Every game that we've played, the value has been around us. So that's what we're battling with. And depending on how much rehearsal your dog's done of this, so if your dog is older and has rehearsed this quite a bit in the past, then the value is massively out there, and they've rewarded themselves time and time again by pulling, because some dogs find it really rewarding pulling anyway, and they think that that's a great thing. And some dogs find it obviously very rewarding checking their emails and text messages out when they're walking, just like us. So having these games and building up these games, I mean, you know, you could just be doing this down your hallway. You don't need your cones or anything. This could be just going down the hallway, but just as long as you're saying 1 step click, 1 step click, or 2 steps click, whatever is good in your head. But it's just nice to have kind of something set out, so the dog's got a visual and you've got a visual, because sometimes you just are walking along and you forget that actually there needs to be a lot of reinforcement. You think how many times your dog has reinforced itself out and about with their sniffing and their weeing on stuff, or whatever their kind of go-to thing is, or they're chasing, or they're greeting other people or greeting other dogs. You think how many times they've rewarded themselves with that. And now you've got to kind of, it's a weighing scales, you've got to put the balance back. So we do have to work a little bit by putting the balance back, by rewarding around us and making it a really nice place to be. So I'm making sure that we're building up these games really gradually. So we're going from the house, or wherever your dog will take food, or give you some interaction. If it's praise or reward them with a toy or anything like that, then we need to then kind of build it up. And if the garden's a distraction, I know some people's gardens may be like a level 2 kind of thing. So if we're thinking like in the house is a level 1 with little distraction, the garden could be a level 2, and then where they're used to getting released off lead, it could be a level 5 or whatever, and that could be really tough. So taking this exercise, if you've only played it once or twice in the house, then to somewhere where they're used to being let off lead, is going to be a battle. So we need to build those up gradually, thinking about using maybe supermarket car parks, where you go up to the top of the car park where there's nobody else around, and you can set up your cones and be the crazy lady in the back of the corner, or crazy guy in the back of the car park, and you can set up your little exercises and do it with stuff in the distance. So we're not actually putting full-on pressure on the dog or handler, and we're building that confidence.
So Jamie,
yes,
you are heading to go and get Katie.
I am.
Because if you don't, you can tell how passionate she is. She absolutely loves it. So I do love that you love it. I love that you love it, and I can feel that you love it. Katie, different kettle of fish, reactive with it.
Yep.
So there's reactivity. Let me know in the comments, guys, if your dog's reactive with it, because reactive with it is a whole new, for me, game, really.
Yep.
Because you've also got not just a sort of very friendly dog pulling towards other dogs. You've got a dog who might be pulling, but also is quite worried about other dogs, and potentially worried about people, and potentially worried about strangers, and potentially going to bite something.
Yeah.
Because I think if pushed, those dogs can go the wrong way if they go ahead and meet the wrong dog.
Yeah.
And that's where like Karen and a few others have been. So you go and grab Katie.
Okay.
We'll talk through some of her games.
Yep.
I'll talk to these guys and you come straight back in when you're ready. So let me know in the comments if you've been enjoying where we are so far. So let me know in the comments. I have loved your questions. I've loved how in you are. And I know that you've got to, Michelle, you can come on in if you want to. I know that you have obviously had the opportunity to watch Lego. And some of you are thinking, well, hang on a second, he's not like a big Labrador and he's not yanking and pulling. He can still get himself in trouble. He can still absolutely learn new games. He can still absolutely find himself stuck in situations. And the other thing is everything he's doing, you can do with a bigger dog. It's just more maneuverable in this space. And that is also the dog that Michelle owns. So we want to show you with lots of different dogs. The problem, I get it, is with a big Labrador type dog. I get that's the problem. You know what? I might even do a bonus where we show you with the big Labrador type dog Buddy as well. So I might try and do that as well. So I'm going to chat to Sarah, and I'm going to chat very quickly to Abby if they're available. So Abby and Sarah, I'd love to chat to you up here live. And the reason I'd love to do that is, Sarah, you worked with Buddy. Lovely to see you. You came here in the capacity of a student and you were doing some shadowing as a trainer. So you're watching our trainers work and our team work and being involved. How did it feel being handed Buddy on the first day, Sarah?
Scary. He was big, he was strong, he was a lot of dog. And, you know, seeing him pulling you around the car park, I was like a rabbit in headlights.
And he'd just arrived, and I said, you know what, he's just arrived, he's just landed here, he's arrived from London, his owners are in London. And I said, you know what, Sarah, you're having him, you see how you get on. And so what you did was you took him on, you had the lead, and you literally did look like rabbits in the headlights. What the hell do I do with this now? And he was pulling you, not just a little bit, a lot. Sarah, could he pull you flat on your face?
Absolutely, he nearly did pull me flat on my face.
And
absolutely.
Did he have any care for that?
No, not at all. He just wanted to go where he wanted to go. I was just an inconvenience.
How does that feel, being on the other end of the lead to that?
It wasn't nice. Wasn't nice at all.
And then I watched you bring your dogs out like 5 minutes before I got him out. I watched you bring your dogs out, and you've had the experience of owning a reactive dog, and you've brought your new dogs up through games once you lost your older dog, your new dogs have brought up this way. Is it a different experience?
Oh, 100%. Totally different. Totally different. Because you've got that connection at the end of the lead. And they are hunty dogs. They are spaniels. They would love to hunt, but they don't, because they've been brought up on games. So they have that relationship with me. Now,
Sarah, what were your quick go-tos for quick wins with Buddy? Because Buddy was difficult when you were holding him, he was difficult. What were your quick wins? What were your easy wins?
I need to pop the head collar on for him and get him walking, get him moving, because he wasn't in the space where he wanted food at that time. So it was to get him moving, and he loved a little cuddle as well, a little scratch on the head.
So scratch on the head, a cuddle, got him moving. You took him to multiple fields, right? You'd got him out. And
it was walking. Yeah.
Walking the mole. Walking the mole.
Yeah,
we're walking, we're hiking. So you're walking with him. And once you finished that first session, how did you feel?
Oh, it was really good. And I was fortunate enough to be able to work with him a few days later. And yeah, he was still challenging, but you could already see, because he'd been doing the games, the progress that he was making, and he was starting to move in the right direction.
Now, we reward sometimes with food, sometimes with movement, sometimes with praise, sometimes with a scratch on the head, sometimes with all of the other things, sometimes with a sniff, sometimes with the opportunity to wee up a bush. Is it easier if you can use some food in your training with him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Gives you another tool.
Now, you're
Definitely.
working with a young dog right now, and she's what, like coming up to 6 months-ish?
Yeah.
So how challenging is it some days when you're picking your walks, when you want to get them out for a walk? How challenging is it some days?
Some days it's very challenging and some days we just don't go for a walk. This morning we didn't, we went to the supermarket car park.
And why do you walk sometimes when you're training, like the early stages, you might train them in different places? Why? Why do you not just take her straight to the park?
To give her, make sure she's got the skills she needs, because the park, those places are really hard. When you've got a dog that wants to go off and interact with the world, they've got to make lots and lots of decisions. So we need to skill them up before we take them to those places.
Anyone in the comments here who's brand new to Absolute Dogs, and anyone who hasn't been to Absolute Dogs before, let us know if you're in the comments and you've never been here before, or this is new to you, or if it's the first time you've been on something live like this. Let us know if that's you in the comments. Sarah, does this type of training work? How involved have you been in it, and does it help, and does it work? And is it a different experience to where you started?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with my old girl, I didn't start games-based training until she was much older, but it still made a huge difference to our relationship. And she was a very naughty but very nice girl. And bringing young dogs up through games has just been amazing. I love it, and I wouldn't do anything different. I'd never
And
train another way.
when you first started like coming to this learning, it was new, it was different. But would you, if someone is sat here going, is this going to work for me? What are you going to tell them?
1000%, it works. Absolutely. No question at all.
So it works, it works, it works. Now, Sarah, you're amazing. I love speaking to you. I'm very quickly going to speak to Abby, who's also here. And I know you got Abby involved in Absolute Dogs. Sarah, before you go, why did you get Abby involved in Absolute Dogs and Absolute Dogs Learning?
Because, well, she's Abby's my daughter, so she was at home with our old naughty but nice girl, so she had some experience there. But when she got her own dog, who's naughty but nice, it was the only way to go, because I know it works.
How extreme naughty but nice can Kip be? So this is your daughter's dog. He's naughty but nice. How extreme can he be? Because she's got a hard dog, right?
She has got Buddy Plus. He's really, really challenging.
So
He's big, he's strong.
He's buddy plus reactivity plus
Mm-hmm.
flying in different directions. I have to say very quickly, Mandy, who's just joined here, says, so new, we haven't even got our puppy yet. So they're actually in the group. I'm going to say a massive congratulations to Mandy. She's so new, they haven't even got their puppy yet, and they're here. I have to say that is amazing. What an amazing opportunity for you. And you're in the best place before you ever need to be, which is just so cool. So I'm really, really pleased for you being here. But let's have Abby join us if she can. Kev, Karen, whoever's doing the amazing technology sort of behind the scenes. Abby, what sort of struggles do you have with Kip?
So Kip has movement reactivity. So he's quite reactive to dogs, cats, anything that moves quite quickly, sometimes doesn't move quickly. And walking him can be a nightmare. It has to be pre-planned. Still am at times a early morning, late night walker.
And Abby, whilst we can't go into loads of detail now, and I may still pull you up later when Jamie needs to switch the dog, potentially, how much has it helped you being part of what we do here at Absolute Dogs?
It's allowed me to keep Kip. It's allowed me to keep Kip in my home, because without games, without this type of learning, I couldn't have coped with him at all. And it has literally changed our life.
And you and him, it's kind of like you're at the end of what you could handle alone, right? Like, you give me an example of him on a bad day.
So Kip on a bad day, he could do he could do many things, but on a bad day, if we were out on a walk and he saw a trigger, he could potentially lie down and would not move. And I can't move him. He's 24 kg. He's a big dog. He also has potential to redirect. I'll be completely honest about that. So he's a lot of dog. But through games, through things like what Jamie and Michelle were just showing there, I can now walk without him planting himself at a trigger now. We can do it.
Yeah. So you've basically got the space of now you understand what to do and how to do it. Abby, if someone's in here sat on the fence going, should I be involved in any sort of learning like this? What would you say to them?
Absolutely. It has changed my life. And I saw the changes it made to my old dog, Maddie. I saw the changes there. It was a no-brainer with Kip. It was the way to train him.
And I have to say, Abby is the best owner. I feel like Kip is so lucky to have her, and I sometimes wish that he'd appreciate this. However, he is a dog, and dogs don't think like that. Abby, you're amazing. I will catch up with you soon. Jamie, come on, bring Katie over here. Katie, for you guys who don't know Katie, Katie came here from the US. So she is a mini American Shepherd. She came to us at a time that our family were having a really difficult time. Liza, Brave had a big accident. Brave was paralyzed. She was running through a field and basically had a disc damage episode. And Katie was our next dog. I have to say, Brave is still alive, healthy, well. But Katie was brought in to be, I suppose, Liza's best friend. And while she is a great friend, she's also a bit of a monkey. So, Jamie, let's go through some of the games that Katie would like to show people for lead walking, but also make her really livable. Yep. She's a really livable dog. I can take her to the beach, I can take her to the moors, I can take her out and about to parks. And yet you can see even something like Michelle moving behind the camera is still something that she'll notice. So if someone moves or packs something or makes a different noise and she's not aware why they're in the room, she's definitely got naughty but nice tendencies, and yet she's really livable. So you guys get to see Katie. I'm going to pop over this way. Yeah, she's observant. She's really, really, really observant. And I think that's really important to know. So go, Jamie. What are we going to do with her?
So the first exercise we're going to do, the one thing that Katie would kind of struggle with is starting her walks in an appropriate arousal level. She would get very excited putting her harness and her lead on. So obviously kind of desensitizing her or just making her a little bit more at ease with the harness coming on. We did this at different points of the day, so it wouldn't be necessarily when she was going out or going to go and do some training. It would be at different parts of the day, different times of the day, and practicing this little exercise. So basically getting your dog to be able to stand nicely. It doesn't have to be set up like this. You could just have a bowl of food on a chair, maybe using a wall to help you, so you've got like a little bit of a channel depending, or in your hallway, so then you've got a little bit more of a channel. We don't want to create a channel where the dog feels stuck at all or anything like that. We just want them to build up this position of them being able to stand. The reason the platforms are helpful is because she understands putting her 4 feet on something, and that usually kind of makes her stabilized and kind of grounded. So these kind of things help. You don't have to do it all this way. Some dogs could just have them standing in the middle potentially, and the bowl of food on the chair or table or whatever you've got. And you're just going to be rewarding them for standing still. So when we're putting a harness on, maybe we need to kind of handle them a little bit and get them used to handling, and then just forward focusing on that food. And her being in a calm state of mind is what we're looking for. So this is relatively calm for Katie. Katie does get quite excited about life in general. So and she was very, very body sensitive actually. So I did spend quite a bit of time, just stroking the areas she didn't mind me stroking her. So it might be like her chest area, around her shoulders. I wouldn't go to the areas straight away that she didn't like me touching her, like her legs or maybe kind of under her belly or something like that to begin with. You want to build this picture up of her being, nice and safe and just getting fed for this. And that might be your end of session. If this was the first session, that might be our end of session. Actually, if it was our first session, it might be just playing a bit of mouse game with the bowl and just feeding her, focusing on the bowl and food. So this needs to be built up gradually over time.
So, Jamie, you carry on working with her. What I think is really important for you guys to know, let me know in the comments if your dog doesn't like a collar, a head collar, a harness, a lead clipped in a certain place. And I was noticing my dog, who's particularly sensitive, Skittle, is actually very, very sensitive. She doesn't even like having a heavy clip on her collar, on her harness. So if you put a heavy clip on her back harness, she dips her back away from you. And I was looking at it the other day and I was like, you really don't like that clip on your back. She actually needs light clips. So let me know if your dog is sensitive to the harness, sensitive to the collar, sensitive to the head collar. If your dog is sensitive to anything, this is how you would train it. But what you need to do is think, okay, I'd train it with the head collar, or I train it with the whatever it is. So even her little shake, her shake is around the harness and the lead and the head collar. Those are things that she still doesn't love, but you know what we've conditioned. So they are very, very much trained behaviors. And I would say they're now conditioned well, but I wouldn't say that they're things that they're not always easy for them. And this isn't, I mean, Jamie trained horses as well as dogs before this life. And it's no different. We should be training horses in these ways. We should be training lots of animals to sort of effectively tolerate the tools that we are using with them, because that ultimately makes your walk happier and easier. So let me know in the comments if you have a dog who doesn't like a lead, have a dog that doesn't like a collar, have a dog that doesn't like a harness, have a dog that doesn't like a head collar. Tell us in the comments if your dog doesn't like one of those things, because I think that's really important. So Jamie, this is something you do with her pretty frequently, right? That you top it up because she is body sensitive, and she's a sort of dog that will always need a level of like awareness on how you're handling her.
Yeah, she definitely needs it topping up, and she needs it topping up with, like, especially kind of getting her from your house or anything like that, then it can be an even more excitable picture. Sorry, couldn't think of the word.
And Mel's just saying he hated the head collar at first, but played loads of games, and now he doesn't love it, but accepts it.
Yeah.
And Shauna says, I tried the whole tee, but didn't like it. Again, these are the sorts of things, again, we'll coach you, we'll teach you, we'll show you, we'll do more of with you. But it's a really, really nice way to start. And all of my dogs started not liking these things, and all of them now either, I would say, accept them, wear them fairly happily, or actively like them. Skittle shoves her head in a head collar. Sadly, Jamie also taught her the trick to put her paw on her nose. So what does Skittle also do? Well, now she puts her paw on her nose. She knows how to put her head collar on, and annoyingly, she also knows how to take it off. Because Jamie thought, we all thought that was a great trick, didn't we? And now we're like, why did we teach her paw on her nose?
Skills.
That was a really annoying thing to do. For me, Sue and Liza says, I thought head collars were bad for dogs. Personally, whilst I don't want to get into any sort of big debate on them, personally, I use head collars. I do think they have a place in training to prevent rehearsal of poor behaviour when I'm in training. I don't use them with any force or any pressure, but actually they give me another tool in the toolkit with a dog that is very, very strong. So I personally do think there's a way of using them kindly, and I like them. But I also think that I would never get into, if it doesn't suit you and where you are, then 100% need to do what's right for you and what feels right for you. So I think that's good. Okay, Jamie, what's our next game?
So our next game, I can show you a bit of pivoting.
Whoa, got some pivoting. And also one game I really want to see with her is a bit of Magic Hand. So
Yeah,
I don't know if you are planning on that one, but I want you to see Magic Hand, because Magic Hand for Katie and for me and for Skittle, because obviously we wanted to show you with dogs that are good at what they do, but don't necessarily know it as well. And I think Katie's one of those dogs. She knows she's good at what she does, but some of these games she doesn't know as well as something like Skittle, who really is pretty finished at her learning in this. I mean, she's got lots of other things to learn, but she's pretty good on all of this now. For me, Magic Hand's such a nice game. So forwards, backwards, side to side. And actually, when you're in a difficult environment with a reactive dog, it's probably one of my first go-tos. You can see that she can sidestep, she can forward step, she can backward step. Jamie, would you ever use it around the car park and students here and people that are training in this environment? Would you ever use it in those spaces as well?
Yep, doorways as well. Yep, definitely going past things that potentially she might find different. So yeah, I'm making sure that they can do it on both sides.
I love this. We've got Sophia who says, I've got a naughty but nice dog. No history apart from the fact that she was found on the streets in Ireland. We came to the naughty but nice training week. And actually, using these tools have really helped us bring her on and increase her confidence. It's been a slow but real, sure process. I love that. I really love that. I really love that you've got a much calmer dog. Now you're in this picture. That's so cool. And that is the lovely Sophia. Well done, Sophia. That's amazing. Michelle is smiling. She's beaming. She's beaming for you. Well done, you. Sandra says, any attempts to put the muzzle on is a battle, wouldn't know how to cope with putting on a head collar. 100% Sandra, that's the sort of thing we coach, it's the sort of thing we work. You could either do a one-to-one with us, you could do the muzzle course with us, or we may even have an offer for you today. So we may even have an offer for you today. Now, Jamie, while you're playing a couple of those games, a couple of other sort of thoughts and questions. I think this is what we want to know is at the of this, at the exit of this, you're going to have a dog who can sniff, a dog who can explore, a dog who can notice dogs, squirrels, people, and actually still enjoy being a dog, while still being able to think and connect with you and move through the world with you. Because that's really what we have now with Katie. She can definitely sort of cope with all of life. One thing I'm still very aware of is what life does. So I don't want another dog running up at her. Let me know if you own a dog who runs up at other dogs. Let me know if you own a dog, if you unclip their lead, they would bog off to go and see another dog. And don't be shy to tell us. This is not a place where we're upset or angry, or we don't hate this. We understand this. We really understand this. So let me know if you own that dog. Because if you were to unclip her lead right now, Jamie, and you don't have to, I mean, you can, and you know what you should. You should unclip her lead. What I want you to see is she can hang out with you. And what other people might think is, actually, maybe this is only in this building, but actually she can do this outside as well. So you can do this other spaces. We just don't have the best internet outside to stream for you. But she'll do this on lead and off lead. And for me, this is really important, that you can actually keep them, so you can keep their attention in all spaces, and not just when the food's present. Can they do it also when the food isn't present and the food's in your pocket, or the food's in a bum bag, or the food's on the side, or the food's in another space? Because I think for me, this is all really important learning, that we can do this. So Jamie, you said you wanted to do another game with Katie. Can you do your getting her forward and beeping backwards? Because I think she'll do that as well, where she comes forward to the hand target and then she'll go out. And I'll explain why I like this game. So this is, it's part of a course I'm going to tell you a little bit about in a minute, that some of you may love it, may have some learning in. And she goes forward to the hand target, and then she comes back to position. So it almost supercharges your position into sort of wanting to be at your side. I think Lego would look cute at this. But what you do is you bring them forward on the hand target and then remind them where they should be. Katie says, I know where I should be. I really love this. I really love this game. And I think this is a really, 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 really just a powerful game, again, to put them back into position. The other one I'd like to show us, Jamie, is her just shadowing your sides. So her shadowing side to side and shadowing where to be. Because I think that's another one that for Skittle became like a real, just one of those, it's kind of like gravy on a roast dinner. It sort of really makes, those of you that don't get roast dinners, then I'm sorry. But it's like, I don't know, jacket potato, cheese and beans. It just goes really well together. It's like poached eggs on toast. It just matches, it works. Putting avocado with it, oh yes. It's one of those games that really, really makes sense. So for me, having a dog that can shadow you and match you, and this is stuff you play where, guys? So where should you play this? So where should you play this? Let me know in the comments, because this is really, really, really important. Where should you play this? Yeah, at first, Alison, at home. So many different places. Yes, I know, food references. That's my thing, Kev. So many different places, of course. However, at first at home. So Jamie, when we're first training our young dogs, where do we train most of our behaviours at first?
Well, just in a room where they're comfortable and happy, and then eventually just taking them out into a place where there's not too much distraction.
Small sterile room, right? Like we've got a space that I'm just thinking now with a rubber floor that's really nice, small sterile room.
Yeah.
Really handy.
Yeah.
And just pop her on the boundary for me, back over there. Just pop her on the boundary. Guys, this one as well, and Katie doesn't always like to do this when she thinks we're working something else out. Jamie will fiddle about and wander about and do other things. This also for me, and I know you might not think it, just go to one side or the other, just so we can see her as well, Jamie. That's amazing. This one also, I think, for me, is loose lead walking, but people don't relate this to loose lead walking or relationship. This for me is really important because it's anchoring them. And how does this relate to off lead or out and about or loose lead walking for you, Jamie? Because it massively does for me.
Yeah, well, if you stop and you need to just kind of sort something out or whatever, then having them to be able to stop next to you and to chill out is a nice thing to be able to do. But yeah, just to be able to hang out in your proximity.
And have you ever had the experience, and I'm pretty sure you had because you train my dogs a lot with me, where a dog really bogs off and they can't come back, but they would come back to a boundary?
Yeah, and they love, once you build up value in the boundary or in a place board, then you've got that coming back to you, and then that kind of feeds off that recall or whatever. We become the boundary as well. That's what we're putting all of that proximity value into, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. And for me, it makes it doable and achievable to sometimes get them back. And I just saw a couple of comments that I think are really worth tackling. Jean says, Tino locks onto other dogs' stairs, tries to run over to them. No food or toy will distract his focus. So Jean, in that space, I promise you, I've got an answer for you in a minute, which is a really cool opportunity. But in that space, you're doing exactly the right thing by not walking them in that space for the minute. So stop rehearsing that pattern. Stop walking them in that space for the minute. Karen, again, would have loads of stories with you for this. And so would lovely Abby. Marie said she got away from me once. She bit a hole in another dog's coat. And these are the sorts of dogs we're talking about when walking. And we've seen them. We see them at the centre every day of the week. And we absolutely know what you're talking about. So this is not something that you... that you need to worry about like telling us. Like, we absolutely know these dogs. We see these dogs every single day. Emma says, to any new members thinking about, do games work? I have an American staffy who was attacked when he was younger. I was told that no training would ever help him, and I basically found Absolute Dogs and the games and have a totally new Ricky. I've got Ricky 2.0. I've gone from early morning, late night walker to basically dog living his best life in the city, and it was only ever possible because of the Absolute games. I feel like I want to know more of you. You are amazing. I love this. I love this. And oh, bless. Sadly, Ricky's passed of old age. But we're back here with Kuro, the 14-week-old puppy. Yeah, I love this. And I really didn't even know Emma, and I didn't know her success there. So Emma, is absolutely beautiful seeing you here. So really happy to see you here. Give her a massive welcome. Really massive welcome. Okay. So Jamie, for me, my biggest struggle is when I've got a dog who's being playing, I suppose, like that silly monkey game where they run around and do zoomies or other things. I love being able to anchor a dog back like this. Yeah. So I love being able to re-anchor them when they're not coming back.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really good skill for them to be able to have, definitely.
What game would you like to show us next?
I was going to show you a little bit of weaving in and out the cones, because then we can go through a little bit of lead pressure.
That could be like lamppost training, right?
Yeah, and also it's practicing your lead pressure. So if you are kind of giving the dog directions down the lead, then yeah, and if you find some posts, there's some posts up by me that I can weave in and out of. So anything like that, yeah. And also if it is lampposts and stuff, then you are having a 2-for-1 type deal, because if they want to wee on the lamppost, you're competing against that. So yeah, but being able to weave in and out, it kind of gives you the mechanics. With things like this, I think you need to have a double clip lead of sorts, so that you're able to communicate. That's what I kind of like about double clip lead, is that you're able to communicate down the lead. Hello, there we go. Able to communicate down the lead, and like now she's got the lead on. Sometimes that means that they can leave, or they think that it's a signal to go. Like things like that. Like I was picking up the lead and popping it down, picking up the lead and popping it down, because I saw that, like, if I went to go and pick up the lead, that she kind of thought that she might be able to go off the boundary. But just rewarding her, I could unclip the lead, clip the lead back on now, and just do games like that, just to put the value in the boundary and her waiting there. But she's waiting there quite nicely now. So little things like that, you can practice. Just, it only takes 2 seconds to just practice something like that throughout the day. And if you do that multiple times throughout the day, it's amazing how much value the boundary
because you do it all day long, isn't it? Jamie and I call it opportunistic training. Yeah. Couple of very quick questions while you get ready, Jamie, or while you get going, depending on what you're doing. Lucy says, can you use double clips with the head collar? Yes, yes, and yes, and yes. And Martin wants to know how to reintroduce a boundary. For me, reintroducing the boundary, it's all about food value, Martin. So I'd be doing learn to earn. I'd get in your games club, because you should have access to the games club. I'd get in your games club. I'd be watching those videos, and I'd be doing as much as I could to get reinforcement right. When you get reinforcement right, the biggest thing I've had to do with Buddy, the naughty Labrador, because he is a big brute of a Labrador. Like, there's no two ways about it. That is a big dog, and he's a brute. And he's pushy and forward with it. But one of the big problems is he didn't want to take food. Now he wants to take food. We've got a completely different dog to work with. So taking food has been like game changer for him. So for me, for reintroducing boundaries, scatter feeding, playing a little bit of orientation game around the boundary before we build up, everything should be in Games Club for you, so do have a look at it in there. And we've got a really cool course, because some dogs, they do better learning from their own living room, and we found that a lot with naughty but nice dogs. They sometimes suit their living room better than going out and about with their training. So the other thing you can do is a lot of the training we're going to give you in the living room, so a lot of the living room training. So Jamie, you're doing some figure of 8 sort of cone walking and getting her to orient to you, and Katie is a dog who is actually wants to be very forward, but you can see how she's actually having to match Jamie. It's easy or hard for a dog to do this, guys, in the comments. Easy or hard? Is this easy or is this hard? Easy or hard? Easy or hard?
Good girl.
Let me know in the comments, guys. Is it easy or hard? You guys are quiet right now. Easy or hard? Easy or hard? Easy or hard? Easy or hard? Yeah, it's really, really hard. So it's really, really tough, like really tough stuff, like really, like none of this is straightforward. So now, one thing I wanted to tell you about whilst Jamie's playing these games for a minute. So Jamie, you carry on playing with her, maybe figure of 8, maybe some boundary, maybe some beat back, maybe a little bit of magic hands. One thing I wanted to tell all of you about, and this would be a great time, Karen or Kev, maybe for our office slide, because we have our course that I think will solve pretty much everything that you guys are struggling with, because it solved not just Skittle, it also massively solved, like hugely solved where I was with Katie in terms of reactivity. And it also massively solved all of what we have been struggling with a couple of the reactive dogs at the centre. It's the course that I would want Buddy to take. And it's also the course that I would like all of you guys to know about. And there's a mega opportunity on it. All of the learning in it. It is a completely isolated course. You do not need to have any other learning to go into it, so you can go straight into it. And we're offering it isolated as it is the blueprint course alone, so you don't have to take part in any other learning. You can jump in at it, and it is 197. So it's 197. Now, Skittle was really hard to walk. She was really difficult. She pulled, she went ahead, she dragged me everywhere. And as a dog trainer, for me, this really is probably Skittle's blueprint. So it really is Skittle's blueprint. But I think it's a mega bargain opportunity for you guys to have a look at this one, because whilst you're looking at Katie and all the games that she's playing, this really was the way that we put Skittle into the real world. I didn't think that I would ever enjoy walking with Skittle. I really, really didn't think this would be fun. Like, I just couldn't see it happening. It's not just a loose lead walking course. Pulling is basically what people notice, but the blueprint really looks underneath it, where the value is, for what Martin's asking, where the focus is, where the disengagement is, where the proximity is, where the calmness is, where the movement is, basically what happens before the walk, during the walk, after the walk, and how you actually take skills from home into the real world and back again. So whilst you're getting to watch Katie play some of her games, the blueprint covers pretty much all of this and more. So it covers all of this and more. And this is not just marching at heel and ignoring everything. This is about having your dog who can have freedom, your dog who can explore, your dog who can notice squirrels, your dog who can enjoy being a dog. And this is also allowing your dogs to still have the ability to think, reconnect with you, and move through the world with you. And for me, that's a really, really, really vital. And this one hurt the other day when I was thinking about it. You own your dog for the whole of their life. Majority of us own the dog for the whole of their life. They're not going to get a second opportunity. You are their opportunity. So if you can teach them the skills that they need, and you can see how Jamie's using her lead here and how she's fiddling with the lead to get the behaviors that she wants. It's mega. It's a mega opportunity, and it's one I really, really, really would like you to do. Michelle, I'm going to give you this one just so you can follow. If you go that side, you could follow Jamie about when she's walking a little, would be great, just so she doesn't get cut off camera. So we don't think that people just want formal exercises that their dogs have to sort of perform on every single walk. What we really like is dogs get the concept. So dogs really get the concept, they get the learning. And I really like that this really becomes very clear to you. Who would like to be able to have a walk where their dog understands them and they understand their dog? And who would also like a walk where if you dropped your lead, you wouldn't panic? Or who would also like a walk where you actually came home and you hadn't had a scenario that really sort of upset you for the day and upset your dog too, and potentially upset somebody else? For me, who would also like a walk where you don't feel sore or punished, or hurt from walking your dog. And who would also like a dog walk where your dog doesn't react to everything left, right, and centre? Because for me, all of these things are absolutely not just possible, but really, really, really doable. So really, really doable. So for me, what I like about the blueprint is there's a plan. You're not just getting another technique that stops your dog. You're actually getting the whole hack into learning with your dog. You're understanding the dog in front of you and you're identifying the skills they need, and you're building this piece by piece by piece by piece like Lego, and you're going to have at the end of it a dog who really is for me, what Skittles become is a dog I can take anywhere. I was in a cafe yesterday. I have had her in London at big events. She's qualified at the moment. She's qualified for Olympia, which is blooming scary and fantastic all at the same time. So we've got lots of different things that Skittles is really going to have to face in the next year. And I just feel like she's accomplished. I can take her to the beach, I can take her to the woods, I can take her to moorland, and I really like it. Does the course include tactics to leave food or drop food? Yeah, absolutely. We will give you lots of different skills that will allow you, Greg, to work around different scenarios that are effectively distractions. And anything that has a distraction element in it, we want to work through, because ultimately we don't want you and your dog struggling in a scenario, because for me that's real life. For Katie, what would be a big distraction for Katie, Jamie, if she was out and about? What would be a big distraction for her?
Katie is if there's a noise, a cat, and somebody walking past maybe that she didn't know.
Yeah, so somebody that she doesn't know.
No.
So that would be somebody she doesn't know. So Michelle, you're just going to walk past Katie, and Jamie, you're going to show how you'd handle it. Because whilst Katie does know Michelle, she still doesn't like strangers. Yeah, and what I'm saying about that is it's a novel situation, so she's not expecting it. Do you see how even then she still looks at Michelle? Yeah, Michelle's been in the building. So Katie's a particularly, for me, Laura's in the group. Laura's an amazing student. Katie's a particularly quirky dog. I think some dogs are more dog than others. Let me know in the comments if you own a dog who's a lot of dog. So let me know in the comments if you own a dog who's a lot of dog. Katie's a lot of dog in the sense you have to be really vigilant to own her. I think Katie's really lucky that we own her, because I think in a lot of hands, Katie would have got herself in a lot of trouble by now.
Okay.
So I think Katie would be in trouble. I don't think Katie is a dog, Jamie. You work different dogs. Katie is a dog. Do you have to be more vigilant than say you're with Crafty?
Yeah.
Why?
Definitely.
What might she do?
Just to prevent the rehearsal, really, and just to keep her happy and keep her safe, and just be aware of certain situations, because you know that she can employ herself into a game.
Inappropriate behaviours at any time, can't she? She can find them.
Yeah, but she can employ herself in a game where she's like putting two paws on a wall or something like that, and then you have no issue or problem or anything, and then eventually you don't have to do that so much. It's only in those one-off situations then, isn't it? In the beginning it feels a bit like, oh my god, it's every movement, every blade of grass or leaf that blows past or whatever, but then eventually it just gets less and less and less.
And what Karen just said is it's 6 sections and 77 lessons, which is insane. So 77 lessons. Did we have a lot of fun doing the blueprint with Skittle and filming it and showing it?
Yeah, it was brilliant fun, yeah. And
it wasn't something that was just, I don't know, off the shelf. We had to bespoke a course. It was basically built around a really naughty dog.
Yeah, definitely.
So did we design some of the games?
Yes. Yeah, they were definitely, well, I say Skittle designed some of the games.
Skittle designed
broke them down for us.
Some games. Skittle broke us down some games. Now, Jamie, I think what we should do here is put Katie away, and I think we should get Skittle for the last little bit. And I actually want to show Skittle's game, because that's one of my favourite games. Cool. So if you bring her up, harness, lightweight lead, because she's being particularly faffy about leads today, and she doesn't like the heavy lead clips on her back. She decided, so she'll walk and like avoid them. So if you go and grab her, we'll pop up, Michelle. We can. In fact, you say with that. I don't know if you need that at all. I don't know if we do need that. We'd probably be all right with not needing that. You can come up and maybe talk with the mic with me. So for me, Skittle, what I really noticed, and I think that I am so confident in her skills everywhere. And yet when people arrive here, because you see people day in, day out that are brand new to the training centre and brand new to the training, lead pulling is one of their biggest problems.
Definitely.
But actually, it's not really the problem. What is the real problem?
The inability to disengage from the environment.
Yeah.
is the first one.
And one person the other day, we were talking about long lines, for example, and they were saying, how do I use a long line safely? And you said to them, and I thought it was a brilliant answer, you said,
your dog's not ready for a long line.
Your dog's not ready for a long line. Your dog is not ready for a long line. Let me know in the comments if your dog is not ready for a long line, because there are some dogs there who are just not ready for long lines. They shouldn't be on a long line, because on a long line, Buddy on a long line with an inexperienced long line handler, what's going to happen?
Oh, he's a missile. He's going to like drag you. He's going to pull you. We actually had a client here with a lab.
Oh, this is hard, like sad, isn't it? Like tough scenario.
They were here with us, and the husband had broken his ankle because the long line had gotten wrapped around his ankle.
Is a long line a brilliant tool?
It is used appropriately.
So long line's an amazing tool with this man who's a little bit fragile, with a Labrador who behaves like Buddy. Carnage, absolute carnage. Accident waiting to happen. Insurance job, like, is a real problem. Now, very quickly, guys, because I know we're going to train Skittle as well, and I want to fit everything in, and I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave before you know. Someone who might be doing the course and doing it online, what's the benefit to doing it at home, in the kitchen, in the living room? Because you send a lot of our students away to do things in the kitchen.
Definitely.
They're not going to fix it overnight with other dogs around. Why is it a good thing that you can do it at home online if someone's thinking about doing the blueprint at home?
So it's going to sound odd, but you can train without your lead. Because at first you need to be able to do it somewhere safe, somewhere contained, somewhere that you're comfortable, and somewhere your dog's comfortable. And then without the lead to also confuse you and get your mechanics a little bit kerfuffled, you can practice and get your food. Where's your food? Where's your pouch? And then introduce the lead. So, and the dog's also comfortable in the environment. You're not worrying about them pulling you to the hedge to go wee on it or trying to eat the horse manure. You're in a safe place, you're in a contained space, and you can practice and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse.
Now, a lot of the people that come here, Michelle, because you see beginners every day of the week who may not have had some of the prior learning or the past learning. This week's students, for example, they've all left raving about it. They have loved this week. What is one of the big wins that people have when they leave? Like, what is, like, for some people, a win?
One of our owners, lovely owners with her little Frenchie, she's got a dog that actually is walking on lead. He's walking beautifully on lead, double clip lead in a nice little harness, and she knows exactly how to reward him and when to reward him.
And I think that for some people is the big thing. How do I reward? When do I reward? What do I reward with? How often should I reward? When should I practice? When should I train? We cover it. We've got you covered. It is in there. So there's always the word of, I've tried everything. I've tried everything. And you're going to get a lot of people who have tried everything. They've tried everything. Often what I think is people are often working on the wrong things.
Yes. And that's where it's really important that you understand what is your end game that you want to achieve. So first thing you need to know is, what does your loose lead walking look like if you want to walk your dog on lead? And my loose lead walking with Lego is going to look completely different to my loose lead walking with a border collie. So understand what,
like Lego, when we're playing on the beach, like, we let the youngsters go ahead and we let them, like, they can go ahead a little bit.
Dog.
Whereas with Skittle, she's not that big. She's 7 kilos, 8 kilos. Flipping hell, she's a big ego. She's a lot of dog on a lead. She is pure, she's packed with energy, and she is going to run into stuff, and she's going to chase a squirrel and grab a rabbit and do all the things. She's going up a tree. She's run through the chickens and the feathers everywhere.
Eating a mouse.
She's oh God, Lord, the mouse incident. I was in the middle of a holiday, family holiday, had a phone call from Jamie. Lauren, all I saw was the tail. I just saw the tail. And I'm like, what happened? She was like, Skittle ate it and it was gone. And I was like, what's gone? She's like, the mouse is gone. The mouse is gone. And we rang the vet, we got them to make her sick, and the mouse had been poisoned and Skittle had eaten the mouse. So these dogs are sometimes a liability to themselves.
Yes.
You've been walking, Buddy.
Yes.
Talk it through.
So it's about getting that connection. So using the lead to help him connect with you, because he has absolutely no interest in
He's a thug. He's a thug. And when you hold him, where's he going?
Everywhere else, but not, he doesn't want to be next to you. He wants to be always over there. So the lead and figure eight walking, my students love this because I have them walking the mile and figure eight walking, just getting that connection and then allowing the space to be able to reward him. And one of the things we see commonly is the allocation of your food. Ditching the bowl is big to getting through to loose lead walking. It's huge.
You need somewhere to tell them this is the right thing.
Yes.
This is a good thing. So I don't use food constantly, but I do use food to reinforce behaviour. And I think that's a massive, it's deal breaker. And it's also, the other one, I'd say this is almost even bigger than ditch the bowl, is preventing rehearsal of the wrong thing.
Yes.
So stop them rehearsing the wrong thing, because if they rehearse the wrong thing, you will just build that direction.
Yeah.
And this is really important. People come to us maybe for a class. I actually think a week's course is much better than coming to us for a class
Yes.
for people that aren't local, because when you come to us for a class, it's only 1 hour of that dog's week.
Correct.
And what happens the other hundreds of hours in a week?
Who knows? Anything. And I would say, if I reflect on my own training and chat to students, it's not actually the training itself where I've let my dogs down and we've not gotten results. It's actually the things they're doing while we're not training. So I'm working on, let's say, one of my dogs connecting with me. I'm thinking of Ocean and being really nice on lead. If I looked at her behavior, she's defense run.
Oh, yeah.
So that's counter to what I'm trying to achieve with a dog that walks nicely at my side and is focused on me and not checking out all the dogs in the environment. If I let her fence run next to, I've got lovely beagles next to me. If I let her fence run next to them, I'm probably not going to get the results I'm looking for when I'm asking her to walk next to me and there's dogs around.
Massive. And I think that's a big part of the puzzle. So guys, let me know in the comments if that makes sense. So let me know in the comments if that makes sense, because hopefully that makes sense to you. I can tell you now, like I said, Skittle was horrible to walk. And I think it highlighted to me how many missing elements there were in her training to be able to walk a dog like Skittle. If you've got a dog that's a really easy dog, like I've got one that's really easy, you walk her on a lead and she's at the end of the lead and she's really easy. She never pulls, she never yanks. Her name is Brave. She is the best dog in the world. Everyone should own a Brave. Everyone should know a Brave. She's a really nice dog. Anyone that's got a dog like Brave is like, yeah, training easy, easy, no problem. Like easy, owning a dog like Brave, easy. And then difficult. Yeah, difficult. This is Jamie. Come on over, Jamie. Difficult, pain in the bum, literally pull my hair out, and I bloomin' love her. Like I love the very bones of this dog, but she is hard flipping work. Hard work on every level. Hard work, like going to challenge you, going to be a pain in the bum, going to be a nuisance. That's her. Michelle, I don't know if you can flick the comments to the bottom. I'm going to come behind the camera with you in a second. But before I do, I'm going to show you a very quick Skittle game. And then, Jamie, you can show anything else that you would like. I might need something disgusting from your pocket. I don't know what you've got to offer. And you know what? I've got some strawberry heads over there. Let me grab strawberry heads. You can then reload. And I'm going to play it with strawberry heads because Skittle hopefully will work for strawberry heads for me. And I want to show you this little game because I love this little game. Let's have you on the floor when you are ready. We're going down slowly because we're kamikaze from the get-go. Says Jamie's going to have better food than me. Yes, she is, but not yet. So for her, one of my favourite games when I'm out and about walking is she's here. And when I reward her, I'm walking forward. She goes to walk forwards. I feed her backwards. So we're walking. I feed her backwards. And I let her have the majority of her lead when she's doing that. I know he's got pate. Skittle, that's not for you. This is the sort of thing Skittle does. This is Skittle's world. So actually, to prevent the rehearsal of that, what I am going to do is at least clip it up. Because whilst I can be food on the floor, I am not going to let you get into it while we're here. So whether we're walking on lead or whether we're walking off lead, she's here. And what I might do is I'm going to reward her. Nice. She already knows that she should be back there. So I reward her behind me a lot. So I reward her behind me so that I can smell things. And I'm going to give her a minute there to smell things. I haven't got the best value food. I've got strawberries. Why? Because I think that's a good thing to utilize with her. We've got strawberry heads. She can have them. Nice. Good girl. Really nice. Nice. Good girl. I'm rewarding behind because what I want to do, and let her sniff that, she's not getting anything there. I'm not going to prevent it, but I'm not going to allow her, so I'm not going to allow her to reinforce herself because there's nothing there. So I'm going to actually let her disengage from it. Reward there. Get it? Good. Really good. You weren't looking, were you? So she's here. I'm going to reward there. Now, why is it important? Nice. Why is it important that I reward her behind me? Because I want to show her nice value behind. Now I play that lead game. When I'm out on a walk, and I play it when I'm at an agility show, and I play it when I am out in the forest. I play it off lead and I play it on lead to get her behind me. I want her behind me. I do not want her always ploughing and towing ahead of me. And so for me, that's been really instrumental in getting her there. You don't have to be really clever with it. You don't have to be really technical. Sometimes when I'm in the woods, the other thing I'll do, let me just get a few more strawberries. When I'm in the woods, the other thing I'll do, which I really, really like, And it's different when you're in the woods because you've got grass around you, so you can have things there. But I'm here, and what I'll do back here is put a couple of bits of food in the grass behind me and then walk ahead again. So she has to come up and catch me. When she catches me, I go back again. I put another couple of bits of food in the grass, and then I walk away again. So she kind of has to find me, but at the same time, so it's a kind of a game of hide and seek, but it's also a game of, you know what, the reward comes back there. And I think that's really, really important. You're going to spit that out. You don't like that top bit. So I think for me, again, just a game I love. Jamie, she's yours. You can show off a little bit of her Lucy walking, a few other games. Maybe, you know what, just do a little bit of conditioning that head collar as well.
Okay.
And there's lots more strawberries over there if you want them. Strawberries, the best bit is they smell great when you're using them and when you're training with them. Where did I leave my piece of paper? There we go. No, you're fine. You carry on. So we've had lots of different questions, and I'm really happy to answer any of your questions. If we can keep it a split screen, Kev, that'd be amazing. Jamie on one screen and the offer on the other screen, just so you guys get the code, because I'm terrible at the code. So there we go. There's your blueprint. So you've got both of those. That's really, really fab. So somebody who's asked, Gemma who's asked, I feel like every walk becomes a training session. Can I ever just walk my dog? Yes, 100%. I absolutely just walk Skittle most of the time. I don't need to take food. I don't need to take toys. I just walk. And so for me, yes, you might put in a little bit of hard work, but I own Skittle. I really hope that I get her until she's 17, 18 years old. So I've got another 15, 16 years with this dog enjoying really nice walks. So for me, yes, we did put in some work, and now we've got a really nice outcome. So I hope that's the answer you want, because I love that answer. I've tried turning around, changing direction, using treats. Why does my dog still pull? Well, all of those things have their place. Pulling is rarely just about the lead. Your dog's excitement, where they find value, their ability to disengage, and their proximity to you and the environment you're asking them to work in can all influence this. So all of that is important. So we're going to give you loads of tools, not just one tool. We're going to give you loads of tools. And guys, if you've got any questions, please do ask. So please ask. This is just a head collar session for Skittle. So this is just a head collar session. So you guys get to see that actually Skittle has quite a lot of fun with a head collar. But I do use a head collar in difficult environments only now. So maybe London. London I find really difficult. Can anyone guess why? Can anyone guess why London is difficult for me? Can anyone guess why London is difficult for me? Yes, you're on camera, Matt. Yeah, you're in. You're on. You're in cameras. Yeah, can anyone guess? Busy, people, noise, pigeons, Abby. Pigeons, Karen. Blooming pigeons. Oh my God. Never seen so many pigeons in all my life. I didn't realise how big a problem that would be if I lived in a place like London. But it would be. I'd have to really work through pigeons. So pigeons were her problem when I was there. Nothing else, pigeons. Okay, other questions. And guys, if you've got any more questions, please do ask them. Where should I practice? The park is too exciting. For me, 100% driveway, your living room, your kitchen, a car park, the upstairs car park, like Jamie said, the top level car park. Yeah, for me, all of those places. And we're going to show you all of that in the course. The best bit about the course is, and this really is the best bit about the course, is that you get to keep it for life. So you get to keep it for life. You get your foundations, you get your value learning, you get your lead handling, you get your focus with distractions, you get your real life ready learning, you get your challenges. All of this you keep for life. So Jean says, how can I stop the fixed stare on other dogs? So many different games. Skittles game is really good. All of the proximity games we play. Jean, are you in Games Club, or are you going to get the blueprint? Or have you got any of our other resources? For me, there's so many games. Hand targets, magic hands, so many different games. Rewind, like so many different games. How long is this offer on, please? I actually would need to check with the team, but I would guess 24 hours. So I would guess 24 hours. And at what age is it okay to use the Holty? My dogs will start learning the Holty very, very young. So they'll learn it very, very young. If you could do that one once more on the side, the other way, Jamie, so spin that way, that's really nice. So you guys get to see this game on this side. So you guys get to watch this game on this side. Am I trying to make a walk less exciting for a dog? No, absolutely not. I want to give them the skills that they can enjoy their walk fully. So my goal is exactly the opposite. It's to give them the skills that they can then enjoy their walk fully. Guys, in the comments, let me know if you think your dog is actually lacking skills to walk. So let me know in the comments, do you think your dog may be lacking a skill to walk? Because I think that's the biggest thing that people don't always understand. I think that ultimately, often it's that a dog lacks a skill. Does that make sense? So let me know in the comments. So let me know in the comments if you think your dog lacks a skill. So does your dog lack a skill? Because I think the biggest thing is our dog is lacking a skill. So I do think our dog is often lacking a skill. So often something is lacking to basically mean that they cannot cope in a certain environment, or they don't have the skill to get out of trouble. And Jamie, you would say that, wouldn't you, with the dogs? Sometimes it's just they haven't got the right skill. So I'll say to you, I don't know, I can't move one of my dogs from the house to the back room without them running hoolies around the house. And that's because they lack the skill of maybe going from crate to crate, or boundary to boundary, or garden to house, or house to garden, or they lack that skill in between.
I think like especially like with spaniels and stuff, walking from one place to another is really hard work. I know my spaniel took a long time to get him to just walk out the back door. Everything was 90 miles an hour and he'd just like leg it out the back door. So just kind of food baiting all the way along and just getting them used to walking and stuff like that. Just walking with you, playing some of these games like your Magic Hand and stuff like that, just helps them to be able to understand that walk is actually in there. It is possible for a spaniel to walk around the house. To run
it's really
and dive.
It's really possible, and it does take training, doesn't it? Like it all takes training. So Jamie, before
even something as simple as you walking over here,
that
was not happening, was it?
No, not at all. Not at all. Like you could not.
It's a value for you compared to me.
Yeah, and vice versa. Actually, sometimes when you walked over, because you feed a lot as well,
it was
like I would lose her, and I couldn't get her back. So those things were really important. And for me, really mega learning, like really mega learning. So Jamie, before you take her away, because I know she's actually quite tired today. She had a really long day yesterday, and she's actually really tired today because I've taken her to chiropractor this morning, and she's had a bit of a check over. But if someone was sat here thinking, actually, can this make a difference? Because I've tried loads of other things. She was pretty tough, right?
Yeah. And I think she's broken down all of the exercises for my brain to kind of understand and go, right, okay, so we need to go easier. We need to go easier. We need to make this
even easier. She's not getting it. She seems like a clever dog, but maybe she's lacking something. She's not getting it. We need to break it down again.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we play a game and then we think, oh, well, that didn't work, or we tried to put a head collar on and that didn't work. But I think maybe we require the skills of breaking it down. And like I worked in rescue and stuff, and I've worked with lots of troublesome dogs and different things, and I still didn't have that capability of breaking it down.
Breaking it down.
But I think dogs like Skittle, or like you guys have got anything like that,
if you own a lot of dog,
requiring us to break it down, and it makes us better dog owners, trainers in the long run.
The big thing about breaking things down, and you'll get a better understanding of it. But the other thing is you'll understand how to break down other things appropriately. So you will understand this dog for life. So I promise you, through this course, you will understand your dog and yourself so much better. Now, Jamie, I know your arm is going to fall off. So you go and sort her and sort out anyone else that you want to sort out. I appreciate it. Guys, give Jamie a load of love. Give Michelle a load of love. They've both been amazing. The tech team, superb. Absolutely super. Karen and amazing Kev, who are behind the scenes. Alison, who's answering comments and doing all the wonderful things. It takes a village to try and get a webinar, a workshop, something like this running. Before you go anywhere, though, I do want to say to you, whenever your dog isn't doing something right, what skill are they lacking? What skill don't they have? What skill haven't you taught them? What skill might you need? As much as you're frustrated about your dog and your dog's behavior, ultimately they are dogs. We are the human. We're supposed to be the bigger brain. And if we're the bigger brain, we've got to ask ourselves, what haven't we taught them yet? Or what don't we know about them yet? Or what could we help them with? Or how could we serve them or support them or give them more skills? What can we do to look after them better? What can we do? And I'm not saying it's a blame game. It's certainly not. It's ultimately, how do I need to help, like you, to help me? So how can I sometimes make him think it's their idea? If I can make them think it's their idea, it's even better. So when Skittles got to think it was her idea, she was like, yeah, I'm winning. I'll walk at loose lead and I'll behave myself. So you have been amazing. Thank you so much for your patience with our crazy tech at the beginning. And you guys basically blew the Zoom room. So we didn't get to start. We actually had to quickly expand the size of the Zoom room, which is really, really good. If you haven't already, jump in on the blueprint. The blueprint is, I think, the single best learning we have ever taught at Absolute Dogs. And I'm not just saying that. I think it is. And the reason I think it is because Skittle really led the learning. She really taught us what we didn't know. And when you think you know it all, it's a big punch in the face sometimes because you need to learn a bit more. And she definitely taught me that we know very little and we actually need to keep learning. And we need to keep learning for dogs like Skittle. So if you own a lot of dog, if you own a dog who's challenging you, if your arm hurts, if your problem is bigger than loose lead walking, this is the course for you. Thank you to everyone for being part of this with us. There is a little video outro, so definitely watch the little video outro. I'd love you to watch it. I'd love you to enjoy it. And make sure, if you haven't already, sign up for the blueprint. You keep it for life, £197, complete bargain. It's an absolute gold mine of information for dogs like Skittle who really struggle to loose lead walk and the rest of it, whether they are running off, bogging off, recall, all the other problems. It's going to help. Guys, I'll see you real soon. Watch the video and you all take care. Thank you, guys. Have you ever stepped outside for a relaxing walk, only to be dragged to every squirrel, lamppost, or even a leaf? Ah! Maybe your dog's pulling starts before you've even left the house. What should be an enjoyable part of your day becomes something you actually dread. If so, you're not alone and you're not failing your dog. Even as the founder of one of the UK's largest dog training centres with years of experience, training and competing all over the world, when my own dog Skittle started to pull like a total lunatic, she tested my skills and my patience as a dog trainer. She was a lot to handle, and as a dog trainer, that's a pretty embarrassing problem to admit to. But it also means I know firsthand how exhausting and even isolating and difficult walks can feel. And the struggle inspired the Stress-Free Walks Blueprint, because every owner, including you, deserves to feel confident and connected on your walks with your dog. Picture this: a jogger, a squirrel, another dog, even a chicken, no problem. Whatever the distraction, your dog glances and then checks back in with you as if to say, I've got this, I'm sticking with you. That moment of trust and connection, pure magic. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, Lauren, that might work for you and some dogs, but my dog has been pulling for years. He's really good at pulling. Or I have a husky, they're bred to pull. Or my dog has to just see a squirrel and he loses his mind. Here's what makes the Stress-Free Walks Blueprint different. We don't train in the chaos when your dog is already struggling. We don't try and fix pulling on a walk when your dog is already overwhelmed and unable to learn. We train for those situations. Through powerful games that reshape your dog's brain and boost their focus, you'll be prepared before distractions hit. No harsh tools, no bribery, no unrealistic expectations. Just practical and proven games and strategies that set both of you up for success before you even clip your lead on. Starting at home with fun and simple games, you'll build the skills your dog needs before you face outdoor distractions. With the help of our expert team, you'll learn how to transition those skills outside with confidence at your own pace, building lasting habits that completely transform your walks. We'll show you loose lead techniques that really work without harsh corrections or gimmicks, as well as games that teach your dog to disengage from squirrels, joggers, and other distractions, and reconnect with you, not because they have to, but because they want to. Throughout this course, we've also included practical challenges that let you track your progress and celebrate your wins. You don't need to be a pro trainer, and your dog doesn't need to be perfect. With these foundation games and handling skills, you'll build the focus and connection that you've been dreaming of, step by step, at your pace, and in a way that feels fun for you and your dog. Imagine this. Imagine stepping outside knowing your dog wants to be with you, calm, confident, and connected. That's what the Stress-Free Walks Blueprint will deliver, and I can't wait to help you achieve your dog owning dream. If you've ever felt invisible at the end of your dog's lead, I get it and I can help. Click the link, come and join us. Let's get you and your dog back on the same team. Come on, class.